We're greatly blessed to be joined today by Coco Ramazani, who goes by Coco. Goes by Colette. Colette only recently decided to break her silence about all that she has survived, with her story being told in the book, Tell This to My Mother. As Pastor Jamie said in the service, she is the incarnation of courage. Orphaned at age 9, she knows intimately the challenges girls and orphans face when trying to acquire an education in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and she has supported and protected children all her life. She has stood before the mass graves and terrors of Rwanda, worked closely with rebel groups in negotiations for reconciliation, and survived the genocide in Congo. She has seen first-hand meetings where militia leaders planned military operations with Western government and business officials and been coaxed to cover up the atrocities. Coco has personally survived the violence inflicted on many women and children living in conflict zones around our world, yet still with her love for Christ, she knows that peace and justice are possible. Colette has a master's degree in business administration from Southern New Hampshire University and currently lives in Manchester, but longs to return to her home in the Congo. It's my great honor to welcome Colette Ramazani to be here with us today.
Hi everybody. Hi. Bonjour tout le monde. Bonjour. Habari za mchana. Nzuri sana. Okay. Those are Swahili and French. So, because I know there is people from everywhere too. I can speak Spanish and I can speak Italian and I can speak Arabic. I wish I could learn that too, but I will be probably like more than 6 languages that I speak already in my mouth. So I can speak in Rwanda. If there is anybody from Rwanda here, I'll be glad to say hello in Kinyarwanda to that person. My name is Colette Ramazani, or go by Coco. Was born in Congo, in East, in a very, very tiny, small village. And I'm so grateful to be here today. And I can thank Rina and her family, her husband, Karis, their 2 children, Mommy Maria, for the incredible, incredible love and support they've been really to me. Rina and I and her family, we didn't really know each other. The first time we met was when I arrived, when she picked me up to the airport. But she heard the call, that's what I can say. The call of a stranger girl, broken girl, who was crying to God, and she took that, she listened to inside and her husband, and they decided to take a step. And she reached me, she read the book, and she reached out to me. And we've been stuck together since. And too bad she doesn't have a choice. She was stuck with me forever. But her husband thinks that he did on Friday night until Saturday. Only a father can do that to his own daughter. He could die in that lake, midnight in the lake, 4 hours, swimming for a stranger, broken girl, orphan who doesn't have a father or mother on this planet. But I found one who can say, if I'm gonna die there, it's fine, it will be worth it, because I did it for another human being. And I can't thank him enough. And I don't have a word to describe my gratitude to you, Karis. I really salute you. Thank you. Thank you, Rina. We can go now to thanks this morning, the church, everybody. There is a faces that they've been with me since Lake Tahoe and I think since Nevada. I really, really appreciate Carolyn is here. She's here. She was with me at Lake Tahoe and so many others, and also to Friday meeting, some more people also they were there. I welcome the new people up here, new faces. What's your name? Maya. From? Which part? Oh, great. Welcome, Maya. And Elodie? Evodi? From? Which part? Kinshasa? She's a mother? Your aunt, okay. And? Edric? Yeah.
From Kinshasa as well.
Ah, great. Vous, messieurs? Jules? Ok. À Kinshasa? Ah, c'est bien. Ça fait combien de temps que vous êtes ici?
Ça fait plus de
6 ans. Et vous êtes dans une même famille ou quoi? Même famille? Vous n'avez pas trouvé d'autres gens pour venir? Oh, d'accord. Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody. I was just asking them their names and what part of Congo they're coming from. So, so beautiful to have them here, and we can see how we can look for solution together in our homeland. That's the goal of this meeting. The war doesn't solve anything but the peace and reconciliation. That's what can lead us to a nice planet. So welcome everybody. I just said thank you for the church for everything that they did today, for giving me an opportunity to sing, and because that is the place where I just find myself like I'm releasing the baggage and be free. And I really appreciate it. I felt like I was in heaven again. So thank you for everything, the member of this church, to embrace me and accept me and just treat me as another human being. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I have so much in my heart, and I really can't unpack all of it in few minutes that I have, because since my childhood I didn't have any pleasure except when I was in school
or when I was in church singing. And then there was a time the church also became another hell, molested by my pastor and my coach for my voice because I was singing solo. But things didn't put me down. I decided to keep going and to holding on my faith, no matter how hard it was in my family, at church, in school. There wasn't any place for me. And all that because when you don't have a mother or father in Congo, it's really hard. Hard financially, hard to live in peace in the house, hard for everything, to learn. You're gonna learn a life the hard way. But I really can't go through those details. You can read for yourself my entire journey in the book that I decided to write with Dr. Joseph Mantwali. He's a professor at Hamilton College in Syracuse. A wonderful, wonderful Congolese guy, and I'm so grateful to have a chance to work with him on this project. I can't really not to honor the boy who is on that picture. I came up with the title, Tell This to My Mother, because that boy was Ugandan soldiers. Can we put that picture back a little bit? This boy was Ugandan soldier, very young, who was with us in Kisangani, and he died in my hands after being hit by bullets and all the intestine was out. And he was crying, Mom, why am I dying here? As myself, I didn't know why I was gonna die in Kisangani. The same thing, he didn't understand why his government sent him to Congo, to Kisangani, just to kill people. And he died. I couldn't help him. And I spent so much time with him, and that's when I came up with this, because he was just a human being like me, who didn't understand why the war all the time. Why? So I hope he has a peace now where he is, and I hope to meet him somewhere one day. The war in Congo has been decorated as a civil war by many countries, Western countries, and their allies, Rwanda, Uganda, Burundi, but it's not. The curse that Congo has today is because of mineral resources that we have. And this has been for so long now. The rich country comes with the pain, and that's why we're paying the price for it. The maps that they draw before even my ancestor being born is making Congolese people, women, children, be killed like animals, like a chicken, without any mercy. And that's why I decided to break my silence. I never thought that I would go in politics at all. I was just kind of a next door girl who wanted to get education and to be involved in business, so that way I can avoid being abused sexually by the bosses at work, because women in Congo and in school, they are not safe at all. There is a sexual abuse by the professors, by the bosses, so it's better for a woman to create like her own small business so that way she can take care of her children or herself without being an object, to the boss or to the professor or to anybody. And that was my determination to get education and be different than my mother, who depended with my father 100%. And my father was a businessman with 5 wives, 22 children. Poor guy. I don't know how he managed to do that. I wish I could see him and ask him the question. These mineral resources, it puts me on the place where I never thought I would be, battling HIV virus, PTSD. I got to the point I'm sick and tired of seeing people smashed, children, babies, pregnant women left to death after opening their belly, and they making joke about it, try just to experiment how the baby is in the womb. And it's just an orphan. I quickly learned how to survive without my mother or my father around me. In that culture where when you don't have a mother, it's really hard. Nobody will protect you. I also went through like the violence, the sexual violence in church, as I said, molested, just in early age, 14, 15, by one of my pastor, and who was my coach. I survived that. I needed to live in surviving mode, praying every day, and again, feeling like I was guilty and confessing that all the time, which wasn't my fault. But as a child, you take things like it is your fault, and that we need to help our children when they are doing sport or anything. Try to have a time to talk to them. They may have a secret that they cannot reveal to anybody. I witnessed the genocide in 1994, and I lost so many of my friends. I was there when I couldn't continue school anymore in college because of financial problem. I was doing small business, hair salon in Butare, and in 1994, the war started, and it was just really, I never seen anything like that my entire life. The way people could just be killed and be burned without any mercy at all. But I was able to go home with one of my friends who was just a teacher. She was a Tutsi. Her husband was a nurse, and I was able to wrap her in a mattress in the bus. Very risky, but there's no way I was gonna leave her. And I claimed her 2 children as my children, just 20, but the kids got to Bukavu safe, and their mother got to Bukavu safe, and until today she's still alive and she's back in Rwanda. I worked as a secretary, like a personal assistant for several ministers and for Wamba Diawamba himself, the president of RCD in 1998. That was the second war. After the first war, that was brought again to Congo by Rwanda, Uganda, and supported financially by Western country, corporations, and including America. Working with them helped me to understand where this financial support really was coming from and what was the motivation for the war. And that's why I'm saying the war in Congo is not civil war. It's not between Congolese and Congolese. It's not about two tribes. In Rwanda, it was between two tribes, but in Congo, it's not. And the media doesn't talk about it because they are involved in getting profit from that. I was there. They met with him in Kampala several times. I was in Museveni's village making plans. Uganda allowed itself even to create another province in foreign country. No Congolese can go to Uganda and create another province. Or I am here today, I can't even say, okay, I'm gonna divide California to become, I don't know how many states. I can't do that. But that's what is happening in Congo. We are paralyzed because we don't have government that can defend the citizen. We are killed because we don't have a father, we are like an orphan. There's no government that defends us. There's no government that is saying, you cannot touch my children is wealthy. We need to do in the legal way. There is not. Wamba Diawamba with his allies, Uganda, America, UK, countries have been at the center with the corporations. These big corporations want the mineral resources to use to make phones, computers, a microwave, and also refrigerators, and so on. Those mineral resources are coming from Congo. They go to Uganda or Rwanda, straight to Dubai, and from Dubai, they go all over the places where there is the businessmen who need them. I love technology, but this technology, it made me today, I lost my precious youth, the way I didn't think that would be. As a Christian, we are dedicated to live in abstinence. And again, as a Congolese girl, we have a culture that you need to remain, virgin until you get married. You have to save your body for your marriage. But it didn't happen. And I didn't do anything wrong to go to work. I went there just to get a paycheck so I can pay rent and get food. But that's where I lost everything that I was holding on. Being raped by Shangui, who was my first boss, who was the Minister for Mobilization and Propaganda in Goma, in RCD. And then after that, being raped by Wamba Diawambi's brother, Andrew, and being molested and abused by Wamba himself. I was hired to be a secretary, not to be a therapist massager. But I was requested to do massage to the president. And that was supposed to be a secret, only the bodyguard and his brother and his friend, the Persian, was supposed to know about it. I never go to school for massage. And doing that was the opportunity for him to abuse me sexually. And when I reported it to the person who was the best friend, it's like, he's your boss, you need to do everything that he asks you to do. There is no justice. Nothing to protect me. So I needed to survive. I was in Kisangani, there is no way. My home was in Bukavu and Goma. I needed to go back to my family. No arguing. So I needed to shut up and be like a lamb that is taken to be sliced somewhere without any word. So I can go back one day to my family. I didn't want to be buried in Kisangani, away from my family, like my mother and my dad. We never seen their grave. I didn't know anybody in Kisangani. I screamed out, where was my God? Because I learned that God watched over us since I was little. I learned that God will protect us. God will do anything to prevent, even snake or, poison to harm us. But sometimes there is a plan, God has a plan that we cannot really understand until we really deeply sit down and think through, like Job. He went through that. He was asking himself, where is my God? What did I do wrong? I shared my wealth with the poor. So why now this? I went through that million times. Nobody could give me any answer. Because when I stayed in the military camp after we lost control of Kisangani, Uganda and Rwanda, they got separated from each other as allies, and then they got now in confrontation all the time in Kisangani. All they wanted, one of them wanted to be totally in control of Kisangani area so they can take care of all the mineral resources because it's more rich in gold and diamond. And that's how they created Ituri as a province, because Ituri is more also closer to Uganda. It would be easy for them to just pass the border and take everything that they have, without any control. And there wasn't any Congolese army in that area, only Ugandan army. So it was like their kingdom. And Wamba could not say any word to stop them. Because they promised him that he's going to become a president. Nobody can promise you to become a president if he's not native of your own home. Only your people can make you president. Only your people can make you to lead them. But in Congo, it's not the case. Other countries have been decided who can be the president. And that's why the war over and over is nothing end. When you don't respond to their demand, they take you down, they take another one. This is the president now. And the same army, Uganda and Rwanda, all the time. And they bring their mercenaries from Somalia and Burundi. That's the game they're doing. Zaidi Ngoma refused to sign the paper of selling east. And that time Kagame was in Goma. And he refused to sign those contracts. But Wamba going to Kisangani, he signed so many paperwork with businessmen in Kampala. Some of them was living in Grenada. And some of them just based in Kampala. And from there, because they feel safe in Kampala, so they take all the business in Kampala and they can ship them now to Western country. And that's what the issue is in Congo. It's not civil war. Hema and Lendu got really in killing each other, It's not like they don't like each other. I went to investigate there. Wamba sent me there with the patient. Almost 3 months. We was in Jugu, small village. I couldn't sleep every day. I was worrying that they're gonna kill me. You know, a city girl in a small village where, you know, I mean, you are cleaner than the other women. It's not like you are different, but just because they are in village, they don't really have that much, you know, things that I have. And now you are in there. I wasn't sleeping in Jugu at all. There was a time we need to go to the mountain to look for Lendu who ran away from their villages because they are getting attacked and their villages got burned. Why? Because Hema businessmen, the tribe Hema, they was corrupted by Western country through Ugandan, and they armed them, and the army was now killing the Lendus who are just saying, no, we cannot allow people from outside to exploit our mineral. That was the only reason. These two tribes have been living together for so long. They marry each other, but when one tribe said we can't do that, another tribe, they corrupted, and now the government in place was now on the side of a corrupted tribe, and now kill the tribe that is saying no for their wealth. And that's what has been happening in Congo. And what they get at on now is women. It's like becoming a tool to destroy, to intimidate men. That's how I was sent to. In 2000, my boss was invited. We were now in Bunia at that time. He was invited to Washington for a conference talking about the conflict in Congo. I said yes. I was praying, God, take me out of here now. I don't want to be here anymore. Because even when I was in Bunia, you don't sleep. I spoke about it. The Ugandan commanders who were with us in the same house, they keep waking up and try to come get me. So you have to stay awake all night. It's not really a safe place for us. But that home, and I would like to go back home, you know. But when he told me what I have to do, you have to say that, you have to do that, you have to do that, and yes, I'm gonna do that really very well, without any problem. But in my heart, I knew that that was the answer now to my cry, because I had enough, and I wanted just to get out and be back in my normal life without bodyguard, without escort, without running all the time. I was tired and I wanted to know my body if it's still the same, Colette, clean or not after being raped, because I didn't get a chance to get medical attention after being raped, except I took some pills. I bought any antibiotic I could think of, just to do whatever it takes. Is that really humanity? And they didn't even care, my boss. He said, this is not novel. It's exactly what happened to me. And it's hard to imagine somebody's child have to go through everything that I went through. I changed my clothes so they don't recognize me. People were supposed to pick me up to the airport. You saw that in the movie, right? I grew up without television. I can't tell you where that came from. It was just God probably guiding me. And I was able to call my sister, and she came to pick me up at the airport in Newark. But before I even get in the airplane, one of the pain and still really upset me until today, the brother of my boss, Wamba, who decided to come until to Kampala with me. He was supposed to rent, to pay for 2 rooms, and he decided to pay only for 1 room, which means I was an object to him, a sexual object. He was married. He had a girlfriend, 24 hours, 7 days. But he was still wanting to destroy me again. I needed to survive. I didn't want anymore him to touch my visa, to call the embassy and say, oh, no, there is this. Okay, just do whatever you want. I want to go home. That's it. I just want to go home. And any woman to be in that situation, you just want to die at that time. Unwanted sex. You just want to die. You feel dirty, humiliated. You feel like you are nothing. And that's how I felt. All night. Andrew did that. All night. What he was looking for. He was married. His wife was here in America, in Boston, with 2 children. And he was telling the other girl he was going to marry her. That was all lies. When they are outside of America, they are just evil because there is impunity in Congo. There's no government that you can go and say, this person did this to me. Nobody will take care of him. And he had a power, and the brother of Wamba, who was the president of RCT Kisangani, I didn't want them anymore to cancel my visa. I need to be in survival mode. And tell my God, why do I have to go through this? What did I do wrong? What my parents did? In this that they say in the Bible that when your parents or your ancestor done something wrong to God, it goes until 4th generation. I had so many questions. But I said, God, just give me a strength to be in the airplane tomorrow. And I can go. If you have to die, I want to die near where people can bury me with dignity. And the next day, I need to stay to Jacques Deperchier, his friend, where he gave me recommendation. He was a German guy, a manager at a hotel, and all night he made me do the same things. So I can't be a woman anymore on this earth. And he knows that wasn't right. An old guy, his little thing couldn't really work anymore. He was telling me to keep touching it. And the next day I was supposed now to go to the airport to take my plane. Rudolph, I'll never forget his name. He tortured me all night to please him. If he was in Germany, he wasn't gonna do that. But because he was in Africa, there is impunity he did it. And he felt good about it. And he didn't feel ashamed in the morning to be in the same car with me when I was going to the airport. Both of them, Andrew and Rudolph. When I was still online, and that was the first time for me to go online. The other time I was traveling with Wamba, I didn't know all those process of you give a passport here, you did here, because I was in VIP. Ugandan soldiers was taking care of the passport and everything, and go to the embassy and get visa. But that was the first time for me to go to the embassy and get in there, and they put the visa after 30 minutes, and I need to travel as Uganda. That's why I'm telling you that American government need to stop putting you in the situation where you are supporting murderers by your tax money. Because this, I'm just another human being, and that's my cry today and every day. I am a human being, not the name of my country, or the continent, or the gender, the female. It's not that. I am a human being first. I deserve to live with dignity, peace, justice, respect, and to be able to be in any place where I wanted to work without my body being destroyed. It's not like for me to get a promotion, I have to give my body. No, it doesn't have to be that way. For me to be hired, I have to give my body. It doesn't have to be that way. But that's what women in Congo are going through every single day. And because there's no government to protect us. My heart has been bleeding inside every day. Without a word. Alone. In my bedroom. Bathroom. Church. Since I was little. But now I need you to hear the pain in my voice of what I went through. Even if I can't say all of it, you can read the book and you can understand what I'm trying to tell you. I believe God gave me life and the freedom to be myself, the way I believe in. To have a sex with a man of my choice, as a partner, as my husband, as the father of my children, not by force. I am a believer since I was 9, a Pentecostal Protestant, born again, and I have a right to obey what the Bible asks me to be, and to live that, and to keep my body for my marriage only, but it was taken away from me. And that, against my will, by my bosses, pastor, foreign soldiers, and teachers. Please do not ignore me. I'm just a human being. Now you've heard my voice. Do not ignore my cry. Be with me in this journey. Do something like Rina and her husband did. Take action. Make noise. Swim. Until each government hear us. This is a little girl. Her name is Pendeza, from Goma. She's just 4 years old. As we speak, she's in the hospital. Heal Africa. Raped by an adult, a soldier. She was just sitting in front of their house when the soldiers came, asked for water. She went inside, she got water, and after he had water, he grabbed her. She's destroyed. She cannot control anything. 4 years old. Are we women, like human on this planet? Or we are now animals? Just for the mineral resources? There is another better way of becoming rich. You know, buy it legally. Have a contract that is really real. But she cannot cry. I'm speaking on her behalf and crying for her. Her mother is just a widow. And she's very, very poor. But she took courage to take her daughter to the hospital. Next slide, please. This was the moment of liberation for me. He came out without any luggage that I handed to him. My baggage, my pain. As a father, he sacrificed 22 miles in the water to get the nice place to throw my pain in the lake towel. We can do the same. There's no president without people. Trees doesn't need a president. God is their president. People need a president. And we can choose to do good things. Where are we getting our juries or anything? It's all good to have a juries, to have a technology in place. But where are those materials coming from? That's the big question we have to ask ourselves as consumers. I'm really a human being. UN doesn't work for us anymore. UN doesn't work for Africa. And without Africa, other countries cannot survive. We are all on one planet, and we need one another. And I don't have a parents, but now I have a parents. And I want anyone who can do something, please, please, women and children, Congolese men, they are paralyzed, they can't do it anymore because they don't have a gun. They rape their wives in front of them. They feel weak. They feel the force is taken away. So please, help. And don't ignore my cry. It's the cry of each woman in Congo, each child in Congo, and even here in America. Women are taken by force every single day. And this has to stop. UN have to stop. American government need to work for the justice and humanity. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you.
I think a lot of people have the cards. Oh, and tissue, please. In the sake of time, if you can write your questions down, we're going to collect them, and if you can stay longer, we will answer them with Coco. If you're not able to stay longer, the LOPC Congo team will take each question and get answers from members of the local Congolese community here, along with Coco, and get the information back out to you. I want to just share a little bit about the process for the Congo swim. It's a really odd, random thing to link with things that Coco has just shared. And yet at the same time, we really feel God moves in mysterious, wild ways. And what I've witnessed happen as a result of this is it created a platform for children as young as Kaya was here earlier, to seniors in their 90s, to have an excuse, a reason to talk with their families and their friends and help break the silence. And it was an easy in because it's something people do in the summer. And it generated an amazing amount of people already at the small level we are to just start taking action. And that the two actions that we came to is advocacy and donate. And she spoke so well about the levels of international relations on this. That is a lack of political will that this continues to happen. We know it wouldn't be the case if it was in Western Europe and the same numbers. 8 million was recently reported in a book of people who have died as a result of this conflict by E. Vensler. I heard on an NPR program it was 10 million, someone was saying. No one knows these numbers, but that's part of breaking the silence. So we, with our little bit of just swimming, are trying to do that. And we ask for still donations to come through, so if today you feel so moved, any bit matters. And I just want to share with you where that funds is going, because amidst what Coco has shared, there are people daily organizing, bravely, beautifully, with vision and incredible determination and resiliency. And with speaking with friends in the Congolese community here, it wasn't about fundraise for one clinic, fundraise for one school, but fundraise help to fund the movement that is shifting. And there are amazing amounts of groups working on the ground, and that's through Global Fund for Women and Friends of the Congo. And what I just want to do is there's a 3-minute video that the director of the Sub-Saharan Africa Department of Friends of Global Fund for Women has put together, and it just gives you a snapshot a little bit about the groups that will be benefiting as part of this effort, because again, that's the call, is we have the political advocacy and then support what people are already seeing working and changing. There was some of the women they'll show in this video just were part of organizing through a network the very first conviction of a high-level general in the military for a mass rape of 60 men, women, and children in one night in a community. There's justice there. It's a start. So when you have impunity and you have people working together, there is things happening. And what the call is not for a couple different things. In the U.S. not to come and change things. Things are working there. It's to give space. And the U.S. not to support the guns coming through. And that's some of the things that the LOBC Congo team will help educate on how that's actually happening, or afterwards for questions. So here's just the short video. So between Global Fund for Women and Friends in the Congo, there are nearly 60 community groups where $1,000 for the year can do amazing things that they're already doing on very limited resources. And that's where the partnership and the solidarity is. And the first piece is, that continues to be repeated, is Congo does not need charity, but justice. And the folks are working daily for this justice. And we have the opportunity to make choices to be in solidarity and partnership with that, which I just think is a huge blessing, in honor of Coco, in honor of knowing that we are all connected and we're all daily benefiting, but in a way that is true partnership. And with that, I have a few pieces. There's going to be balloons, you'll see, and some of the swimmers will be in the back with baskets. Once we conclude, we'll have one beautiful song with Coco before we go. And after that, if you feel moved, please do give and leave something with the swimmers in the baskets. Also, we have advocacy postcards. There's a law on the books for others of you who have come to talks we've had before. There's the law on the books is Public Law 109456. as when Obama was senator, the only law he got through was about the Congo. It was his passion, it was his cause, his fight for justice, and yet even as president, he has not enacted his own law. And both Hillary Clinton and John Kerry, as Secretary of State, were co-signers, have not enacted their own law. So there are a lot of stakes at play, but what they continue to tell us is they need the U.S. public to be informed about this law, to put the pressure on so that they stand strong, saying yes. So it's a simple postcard, it's online as well, and at congojustice.org you'll see advocate and donate, and I really encourage every one of us to go and send that out to other folks. Again, it's just a matter of numbers and informing ourselves. We can be sisters in this. And there's things happening all around the world, we know, but the silence that's going on in Congo, I think we can all agree, is just unfathomable as to why. And we all have to be a part of that, breaking the silence. Kevin, can you go to the next slide? You want to just share a little bit about what this song is for you, and then the parts that are in bold in Swahili is Coco's invited us to sing with her in those. And we'll close after this song, and again, donations will be accepted by the swimmers. Her book also, I apologize, I forgot to mention, Fred and Rich are back at the table there ready to sell. Her book is $17 and will be available, and if we don't have enough copies for you today, we will get one to you as soon as they come in.
The questions will be answered later or by the committee?
If you would like to stay, if you have a question, Coco is available to stay and answer questions personally. If you're not able to stay, we promise every one of the questions that were put on a card, we will do research and get information out. And so make sure you did sign in on the sign-in sheet to be on the email list there.
I'll sit down a little bit because my energy level is a critical situation most of the time due to my health condition. This song is so the source of who I am. And when I was going through really hard time and tried to find my way out, I tried to end my life several times, and because I didn't want to deal with losing my hair, or being rejected, or not being able to be a mother or a wife, and dealing with the medicine every day, and just want to die, because I didn't want to be skinny. Because I saw in the hospital when I was going to pray for people in Bukavu, those who was rejected because they had AIDS and also TB and things like that. But I went there at the General Hospital to hug them and give them a cup of water. I never thought that I'll be in that situation. So I wanted just to die and question God and angry at God. But after this came again to me, that even when we are in, like a vibe, God is the only place I could go. And I didn't want to go to hell. Since I'm 9 years old, I gave my life to Him. And because of illness, I'm not gonna give up. My soul is more important than my body. My body will, will stay, but I need to give Him my heart and protect it. And that's why this song is so much more to me. When I got it, I said, okay, I'm sorry, God, for being angry at you. You know what you're doing, and you are the only one who can do whatever you want with your army, and nobody is allowed to question you. Ee Mungu mwenye kweli na kuamini sana, maneno yako yote milele yatadumu. Niite kati shida, nitakusaidia. Nategemea Bwana, ahadi yako hiyo, na katika uchungu ni heri kuamini. Naweka roho yangu kulindwa nawe Baba, uliyenifundisha kuita jina naona tumaini, ninavyoomba kweli, najua wasikia yaliyo mema kwangu, najua wayafanya katika shida kali, waweza kunilinda, wanichukua mimi na masumbuko wanichukua mimi na
We could just all close in prayer. Let our hearts be with Coco. All families everywhere impacted by war, especially in eastern Congo. Mother, Father, God, we just call for your Spirit to come and bring us through as you want us to work for you and your will. May Coco feel the constant embrace of everyone here that has opened their heart to hear her story, to stand with her firm in her bravery, in her questions, and be solid with her in her faith. We give tremendous tremendous gratitude for the hope and the vision that is alight in her and everyone else who has seen war firsthand. We pray, God, that this moment today that we share in this hall be transformed and multiplied in ways that we cannot even fathom, for your will to reign, and for the evil that is taking place all over in challenging this, that it be justice, justice, justice that buries it. And we made extra special prayer for any man that has been forced to do things to his sisters and mothers or grandmothers or children. Or that any soldier that has been confused or hurt. And we pray for tremendous healing in their hearts. And when they rise tomorrow morning, there be more love in this world than there is today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Not going to be yes or no or one sentence answers, but it seems to be from the group of people that did write questions down, they're very similar. The first is, can you elaborate on U.S. role in supporting injustice in Congo? Can you elaborate on the U.S. role in supporting injustice in Congo? Can you describe a bit more? Because she referenced how she was personally in meetings with RCD, that she was a part of a meeting with U.S. corporate officials and government officials during the talk, but they wanted some more detail about that.
So, can we talk now?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we see one role that she worked.
Or the U.S.
You say U.S. or United States?
Yeah, United States.
Okay, United States, I can say, easy for you to talk about it all the time. The United States, we get a lot of Congo, since the regime of Mobutu. They supported Congo, Uganda. But since the fall of Mobutu, who was a dictator, now the U.S., I think kind of, if we go back in the history of the Rwanda genocide, that we did in Rwanda, and the Congolese being so hostile, living Rwandese refugee, over 2 million people live in Congo. Now, the U.S. feel guilty of what they did in Rwanda. We're not stopping the genocide. They knew this. They knew this. As our sister said, the UN was there. When they killed the first, he was a minister in the Rwandan government, he was a Hutu, but the Hutu killed her because she was a model. And then they came to Congo. And the U.S. to give what they did so the world can forget what the U.S. did, the UN did, the world did, the West did, not stopping genocide in Rwanda. Okay, take over Congo. That's your gift. We the victim for being the nice people. The U.S. said, okay, take over. Are they talking about, you see in CNN, what's going on in Rwanda? No. Are they talking about it? No. Are the leaders, the West, the United States, talking about the senators, talking about what's going on in Congo? No. If one person died in Europe, in Afghanistan, in somewhere, they're happy. Why? Because the UN had interest in Congo, money. And we became the victim of our resources. And sometimes when I look back, me and my wife, we talk about it, That's why I have my family. Mobutu didn't know, he messed up the country. Rwanda came over, take over Burundi, he's taking over. Rwanda, there is no government, Congolese government. How did they invaded our country? And the UN know that. The US support Rwanda with the weapons. The weapons they're using, they come to US. The US training the Rwandan the government. And the government come, and they know this. Why? Because diamond, gold, everything. Now we became like nobody's child. The Congolese, we don't know values. We love music. We're nice people. Everybody knows this. But our leaders before, they made mistakes. Instead of training their children, they knew that after us, that our children, they can train the country well equipped. So nobody can invade the country. Mobutu didn't know this. And then he was fallen. Nobody liked him. There was no army in Congo. There is no army in Congo. There is no weapon in Congo. There is no nothing. And now the Rwanda took over. And the US is on top of the situation, what's going on in Congo. I wish I had a dream. I'm a Christian. I pray a lot. I have a dream during the Obama campaign. Obama was doing the campaign. I have Bush, I have him. What was it? President. What's his name?
Clinton.
No, not Clinton. Was running with Obama. Bush. Yeah. Not McCain. Romney. I saw Romney. I saw Obama. Obama was good. I knew he gonna come with. I was in the bathroom. And I said, oh, Mr. President, I need to talk to you about Congo. He said, wait a minute, please, let me use, we were in the main bathroom. Wait a minute, I want to use the bathroom. But since he didn't come back, I wish I can tell Obama. He needs to help us. Just a word, because the president in Congo, he's not the president, he's an employee. Rwanda is running Congo and the killing, not only in the east. Now, what the president doing, he killing, you speak like this, today, you gone. I'm speaking like this. That, in Kinshasa,
You disappeared.
the well-spoken people, the killing. I mean, what's going on? They're killing people in any way. We're crying. I don't know. If you ask me, you as an American, I think I want to say honestly, America is on top of the block. That's what I think. But we love this country. We all American. I'm American citizen. I've been here for 27. Oh my brother, we've been here. We live here. We pay taxes. This is our country. We love this. We cannot go over there. We put people. We're raising kids born here. But back home is our country. We cannot go. But Americans, they can listen. You can listen. They need to stop this. America is on top of this situation. They don't want this to stop because they're stealing diamond, all the companies over there. They asked Kabila. Kabila said, Kabila, the father, he said, okay, you American want to come over here? You take 60, we take 60% resources. You take 40. They said, no, we want more. He didn't like that. They don't like that. He's gone. Now, this is the situation. That's what we feel about America. I think my brothers, anybody when they come.
Yes. Yeah, the colonialism was probably the biggest thing that robbed the Congo of so many people. Under Leopold, and slavery, of course, was a big, many outstanding people probably were lost at that point, but colonialism, where basically the Congo became the fiefdom of Belgium, and I think the loss of people was a tremendous thing. And then, of course, Mobutu was with his 32 years, where he, again, took advantage of the Congolese people. And in her book, Madeleine Albright said that probably the low point of her career was the way that they neglected the Congo, and that she and Bill Clinton both have apologized for it. There was a hero with the UN at the time, and I can't remember his name. No, he was with the UN, and he was silenced. Pardon? No, and I know the name well, but the big problem there was that, again, you're so right that there are just too many resources, and I'm not a fan of Paul Kagame in Rwanda because I think they're taking advantage and trying to get the resources. Would you disagree with me?
I agree with you.
That's
But
the
when you
truth.
say that the
What is
victim
going
of
on?
colonial,
Good.
I want to go with victim colonial. We can't go back again. Colonial is finished.
Yes, but
Colonial Belgium.
I think it robbed the Congo
Yeah.
of some outstanding people. Probably 10 million at least were killed under Leopold. And you can't replace those people. And because the tragedy, in my opinion, in history is whenever you have a dictator, someone who is able to rule at their own will. And do they want to get out? No, because they know they're going to go out and find bombs. And I think that the Congo has outstanding people. Mexico is a lot like that. Congo has outstanding people, but they've also been, and when they had colonialization, one of the bad things that happened there was that there was no training for government. So along comes Patrice Lumumba, who's probably a good guy. U.S. decided he was going to be a communist, so they got rid of him. Pretty good evidence that the UN or that the U.S. was behind that, and that when Mobutu came in, he might have been as bad as Leopold, right?
Yeah, he was
Very bad guy.
He was bad.
But so many outstanding people, I think that was a big thing that caused so much of the current problem. I'm so glad that you're speaking up so loudly. That tears me up.
You know what? The problem is even Leopold at that time, they solved the problem, but we're talking about now. How many people dying over there, and then the world, they're closing their eyes. They see, they know, but they're not speaking. How many times, even though the Congolese from Washington, how many times they went even in the Obama just to tell them, hey, look, we're dying over there. It's not good over there. People dying, raping women, but there is no solution. And then we ask, we are human like anybody else, or we supposed to live like that? Even though you guys need those resources, you come work with the Congolese. We can exchange because we need each other. But the way they're doing it over there, we feel like we are powerless. All the time I came over here 16 years ago, all of this happening after. But every day my husband is here. When I come from work, I go to the internet, I have to look how my people, they just dying over there. Every day my husband is my witness. I go over there and then I ask God, I cry, I ask God, why is it like this? They see it, nobody's just talking, nobody's just scared, but I see other places, people dying, even a few people die. You can see the news, the CNN, or they kill people, but how come Congolese million, now we are maybe 10, 15 million, nobody saying nothing in the world. And then I'm
Because
asking myself,
the good
why?
people are not standing up. And that's why your voice and support is so important. But, and I don't think there's any question racism is involved. But look at the thing we're having right now with Syria. How many people have been killed there? And we have to, we can't step in immediately. It's not the first time it's happened. And is racism part of it? Probably is. Probably is. That's my guess. And I don't have the answers either. But boy, this room here is a lot of love here, huh? But I know it's got to be tremendously frustrating. It's terrible.
I think I heard that good people are standing up, and in addition to that, because I know people are standing up in Congo continuously and trying to get the word out in all different ways. So the information's there. There's plenty of UN reports that document all the atrocities, and our government is part of ones that kind of change the language before genocide put in and it's changed, it's erased out. So there's a lot going on, and it leads to the next question is our government really a part of the weapons getting into Congo? Yes. Let's see. What would you say to elaborate on that?
Yes.
What does that look like? How is it actually happening? So we can understand, because it's not just stepping up, we're fueling it. Our government is fueling it with weapons and training.
You know, when Wood was in power, he was a training base in Congo. Now it's in Rwanda. Okay? A training base in Rwanda. Simple. So the weapon going to Rwanda, and they want them to use it to kill the Congolese. Simple. They have a base over there. They're training in Rwanda.
And then in
That's how it's
Africa,
going
I don't think in Africa they make weapons. The weapons come from here, and then other country from Europe, because I don't know if Rwanda they have those factory they make good
No,
weapons,
that's what
they
we're saying.
from here.
The training, all the weapons come from the United States. The training the Rwandese people to go kill the Congolese. You know, what is going on in the world? You're showing us democracy, and now you're teaching us something they hate, to kill each other, like animals. In America, you cannot kill the American people here. We're speaking out here. But over there, you're telling us, no, over there don't speak. You're supporting all the dictator, all the killing. But this is kind of confusing. Have I related to Obama? Maybe that's a question. Yes.
We've been able to get 2 people out.
Yeah, we did
Yeah.
like that, but there is no answer because we just, people went over there, write memos, do this, but there is no, myself, I know, we wrote letters and then we sent, never come with no answer. I did it personally, never got any answer.
No, I think the training, Uganda, and I said it again, and I will say it again, Uganda and Rwanda don't produce really like
Don't do what?
don't produce like any really gold or
They don't have
They don't
resources.
have nothing.
they have a
They
banana,
don't have nothing.
bananas and firms,
Mhm.
Yeah,
cow, goats,
that's it,
that's it.
but now.
Even avocados, when I was in high school, when women from Rwanda was coming in Kavu and collecting, you know,
The seed.
the seed, and today they have avocados.
No.
We was laughing at them,
Mhm.
Qu'est-ce que c'est comme histoire? Les Rwandaises, vraiment, ils viennent aussi prendre les noyaux donc des avocats. But they was doing that because they didn't have it and they didn't to get it from us. But today, like Rwanda becoming, the first, producer of diamond and gold, there's no mine there.
Mhm. And they get smuggled out of the country.
From Bukavu, Changugu, Kigali, Dubai.
Mhm. Goes
From-
right out through
yeah.
Rwanda, doesn't it?
From Ituri, Bunia, Uganda, Kampala, Dubai. And the owners coming from other countries, they get to Dubai and they get their merchandise there. And And the munition, so that's why, I mean, Rwanda and Uganda cannot afford to support any war all these years. They cannot.
They've got to be helped.
I refused to do training. I thought, Kondere, if you want to kill me, here. I did it like that. It's so risky. I don't want to be a soldier. Because they was now trying to force everybody to do training. It's so risky. I didn't come to be a soldier. You want to kill me? Okay, I'm ready. Because I don't want to wear that uniform. He didn't kill me. The training, and there was another group, like just Congolese young people, who were taken to Uganda in Chankwanza, who by force they need to do training. They lied to them first, saying that they're going to teach them like the political strategies and this that. But when we went to see them with Wamba de Wamba, there was military training. Girls was crying. And they got poisoned again by one this girl who is Munyamulenge. They gave her poison to poison the real Congolese. Some of them need to be taken to South Africa to be
To what?
treated. South Africa.
South Africa.
To be treated. So Rwanda is determined to kill as many as they can. You know,
To take over Congo.
to take over.
Yeah. And Kigali is,
Actually, if you look at it, the history, I have a friend of mine wrote a book about I'm still reading that history of Congo, all the crisis in Congo, several crisis. If you look at the history, the Tutsi, they're minority.
who's the majority? Minority?
Tutsi, yes.
Tutsi.
They're in power now.
Big
They're
time.
minority. They came to immigrate to Rwanda. So, yeah,
The
they came to
Tutsis came
immigrate
out
to
of
Tutsi to
Uganda.
immigrate to Rwanda. That's where they came to immigrate, and the Hutu was living there. You know, their job is to raise cows. Actually, they was working for the film in Congo too. You know, when they Bamulenge, what do you call that, Bamulenge?
Munyamulenge.
But Bamulenge, they told them in Congo, you came in Congo, never be involved politically. You are refugees, so you ask asylum to live here, but never be involved. So, and the Tutsi and Hutu, they don't like each other. What Tutsi doing in the eye of God to look at you as human, you can't do that. I mean, the United States don't live like this. Nobody will live like this. Why they want to kill all the Hutu, get rid of all the Hutu? Now what they're trying to kill all the Congolese. They want to kill the whole Congo. Now, that's the goal.
Who is this?
The Tutsi.
The Tutsi?
The
Yeah,
Kagame.
the Tutsi is a tribe in Rwanda now. They in control of the government.
Yes. Mhm.
So what they're doing, they set up the government. The president in Congo, he's an employee. They tell him what to do.
Yeah.
If you go in the army, what's going
That's
on?
Joseph.
Yeah, yeah. You go in the capital. If you look at how people living, is miserable. The country is miserable.
Yes.
I mean,
Lots of malaria.
kids on the street having babies. There is no love. There is nothing in Congo. People is changing people. Therefore,
Life is so
the
cheap
president
in
is killing
Kinshasa.
everybody who speak
Right.
out
Am I
against
right?
the president. Even the sermon in the church,
Life
you cannot
cheap
say
in-
God help Congolese people.
Because this is not
No, they're not
There's
killing.
no jobs.
Killing injustice.
Yeah.
Is
But
persecution
I'm
going
talking
on
about the
with
leadership, that the people are not
Christian
there.
men care because they speak out. So their goal is to kill everybody who's smart in Congo,
trying to speak out.
to silence everybody. If this is not going on again in 92 years, I don't know. I'm afraid to go over there. The Rwandan, they're doing everything, even poison people. They can poison people. They're using any resources they have in the east, they're killing with weapons, and in Kinshasa, they're killing with poison.
Poison and machetes.
And the
It
excuse
leads
that
to the,
Paul Kagame uses is that if they don't neutralize the Eastern Congo, that the people from the Eastern Congo will threaten them in Rwanda. Am I right?
Yeah, this was the idea before. Okay, the idea before when the new government took over Rwanda, the Rwandan people said, okay, Mobutu, he asked the United States, the UN, get rid of the camp in the camp. There was 3 million.
Camps are a threat,
yes.
right?
Camp was a big threat. And we made a mistake by being too nice. Mobutu gave them, actually, everybody can ask asylum. I asked asylum, that's why I came over here. I didn't come over here to make trouble. I came over here to build life. This is my host country. And so the Rwandan came to Congo, and they start doing something, running like government also. So the Hutu back there look at the Tutsi, look at, these people, they're gonna come back to haunt us. How am I gonna get rid of them?
And it may be an excuse too, huh?
Yeah, that's excuse. Yeah, this is just excuse. They asked the UN, can you get separate? Because we see that camp, they have a military, they have a civilian. And I was reading my friend's book. He said, actually in the camp, there was running like government. They have a president, the military was there, so everything was in the camp. Imagine 3 million, like a country. So, the United States didn't listen, nobody listened. Now they want and said, okay, we're gonna take the money in hand. And everything you have a time, the time Mobutu was getting weak. Democracy was saying everybody stand up against him. So he was weak, nobody can help him. Actually, he didn't build the country.
This is Mobutu?
Mobutu, at the time Mobutu was falling down.
He enriched himself tremendously at the expense of the Congolese people.
And
But he was very poor.
He was-
Outside of the Congo, he was buried in Morocco, Casablanca. That's where,
Mobutu?
that's where his grave is.
Yes, outside. But he also had some mansions in other countries too, didn't he?
They
He had 12.
took it. They took it.
Okay. Who took it?
Those countries over there, if you don't
The
pay taxes,
Western?
what's gonna happen?
Gotcha.
They take it.
I mean, this is what's going on. Our dictator, they don't understand. Stealing from your country, Kabila doing the same thing. I feel sorry about him. One day gonna change. They're gonna do the same thing they did to Mobutu. Mobutu put the money at the bank, Swiss bank, everywhere, buying castle. He buy a mansion. Not the mansion, is castle, chateau.
Chateau?
In Switzerland, he said, there was a train was going over there. He said, no, move this train out here, I don't want to see it. You know how much it cost? They told him it cost billion. If you don't want this train to run, I don't want to hear that noise. He paid billion just to move it. Where is it now? They took it. They took everything, and Mobutu family, nobody, even kids, today they can say, this is Mobutu kids, they have a life. No, there is no life. Everything's gone, the family is gone, everything's gone like Hitler.
Most of the kids are
Like Hitler, right? We don't hear about Hitler no more. And Mobutu, we don't hear him no more. And Kabila doing the same thing, the politician doing the same thing, and the next president gonna come back and say, okay, you build this in this country, that's Congolese money. You were a taxi driver. Mobutu, the president, he was a taxi driver somewhere. I mean, now he's a president. Where you got this? They're gonna take it over again. So other countries benefits from Congolese resources. They don't want to have all the American people have. This country, even I speak against America, but they have a love with their people to do something for their people. I mean, my sister is here. We all here. We came here asylum. Most of us, all of us here. We're doing better. In our country, they don't give you that chance. That's the heart black people have. My friend, I used to say, tell him, he said, don't say black people. I say, no, I think they do, but better. God created it was in Africa. The African people too smart. God said, no, you are too smart. I'm going to disperse you. He dispersed us. We don't like each other. You know, but that's what it's called. The Americans like each other. The French like each other. The Belgian, the Chinese. What happened to Africans? What happened? I don't understand. That's another story.
Do you think that the effect of the Chinese might be a good thing for the Congo?
I'm sorry?
Do you think that the effect... Pardon?
Is that her question or his question?
Like having Chinese in Congo, it would be good.
Yes, that the Chinese influence might affect the way that they're treated by the other
Right.
countries.
But right now, Congo doesn't need Chinese, doesn't need France, doesn't need Belgium, doesn't need America. They need to leave Congolese to fix and clean the country.
Yes, but if they also help with infrastructure,
You know, that is another problem in Kinshasa today. The government is called 10%. 10% why? USA gave money to Kabila's government to build the road, you know, and clean water. And then USA asked China to send workers to Kinshasa. They call it now sanction team. You guys learn about that?
Yeah.
So,
what?
sanction team, which is how many Congolese who are engineers? Congolese goes to school, even if it's tough. But instead of for now giving that job to Congolese, you bring in Chinese to get the job, where the economy really is changing the city. Nothing. And the money that the government here is sending, only probably 2% or 3% will do the work. The rest of money is going to
Congolese
be
get left out.
you know,
Is
each
that what you're
pocket,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
they-
ministers, it's that, and that's why those who are around Kabila, they cannot speak because they are giving them 10% of any money coming from Western to try to build Congo.
It's called bribery, huh?
That's 10% government today. 10%.
So you feel
That's
very
good.
strongly that the Chinese influence is not going to help, huh?
It's not
It's
gonna
not gonna
happen.
happen.
Chinese,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
not gonna
like
happen.
Chinese presence
Don't need
is
it.
gonna
Not
bring
gonna happen.
another Darfur,
Yes, in your own interest, yeah.
if I can say that clearly. It's gonna bring another Darfur in Sudan. Because of Chinese, today we have two Sudan.
Mhm.
Chinese doesn't care about any other country except their own interest.
Their own self-interest. Mhm. Good. Boy, I wanted to ask a question because, you know, supposedly they think that the, or, you know, the thinking in the world is that that will be the breadbasket, that agriculture will be very important, but it must be the Congolese behind that agricultural growth. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes.
You know why they are smart? Because when they put those employed Chinese, that's the way they can study country. They can know all the crony. Because when they come, they will know all the crony. That's why they don't want to put Congolese. Because all over them, they need to get all Congo, become them. And when they put their employees, that's the way they can know, oh, this crony, it's like this crony. And they're not working. They came over there to study the country, all the crony. Just take the maps,
Yeah,
you know,
the maps.
where is this mineral, where is that, where is that, where is that?
Yeah.
And give it to those who are, you know, paying them. And now get ready to bomb one day. Like, there was bombing in Goma while he was swimming. And now, yesterday, my family was, oh, Kagame said, it was a mistake. We didn't mean.
You can try it, I mean, for one day, but 3 days in a row, day and night, you're bombing innocent people, not even like a military, but just civilian.
So
What
then
do
I-
what do you think
I'm sorry,
just
Dave.
last question, what do you think is the
Yeah.
possible answers?
And that's exactly this one. It's Edric's question. It's how do we reconcile this? So really would love your thoughts on, from Friends of the Congo, it's the political will is what we've been hearing. That's why we chose the advocacy and put a lot of education of ourselves and political pressure. And then supporting financially the groups on the ground that are building up civil institutions within Congo. What are your thoughts on, amidst it all, a solution to all that we need to fight for?
Well, I want to say something too. I don't like to go say twice everything that has been explained by most of you. Many problems is why we are suffering from actually Congo is because of our natural resources that I don't like to say. Is that if is about bringing solution. I want to say probably the main problem we have in Congo is about we don't have the real leadership we need for Congolese. Every time when people try to elect there's a representative, we have like a fake one who are leading our country. I want to just give an example. The current president, many people say he's not Congolese. They say he's a Rwandan citizen. Why can't another citizen can come and lead our country like that? When we try to go deeply in that reality, we're going to just figure out that the person who is in power is not Congolese. It is the way it was brought to the power. Most people don't know exactly how. That's the main reason. And if we need to have a really good leadership in Congo, if other countries, the powerful countries need to help us, is to have the real election. Even those conflicts we have in Congo, where people are fighting through the war we have in Congo, if you have real people who can lead the country, I don't think that we're gonna have those situations. That's my point of view. I can give you.
Joseph Kabila,
Yes.
he was a stepson of
Laurent.
Laurent Kabila. The mother is Tutsi. She got married with the Kabila. She had already a son before.
She had one.
Yeah. She had already that child, the Joseph Kabila, with another man in Tanzania. So where on earth where, the constitution, like I said, anybody can come and just become a president. But Western, they put him there because they knew he can work for them very well. Kabila the father was killed not by anybody, by his own stepson in his office.
That's what I read.
In his office. And the bodyguard got killed, so he doesn't say. And the other one who killed him, got killed until no one could really say the truth. And who was on top of army? The stepson. And he put him there, trusting him that he's gonna protect him. Before even he buried his own stepfather, he was at the White House, meeting with George Bush. So it's just really sad for us as Congolese. It's like insult, to see the country that is full with people who are educated, but now we have a president who doesn't speak French, doesn't speak Lingala, who now he's taking class in French, homeschool,
Now he's learning.
okay? Homeschool by French people.
Never speak, no, no.
It is answered for us.
And insult is a very good word.
So if the Western country and America, they can want that for their own children, then Congolese also can say, okay, we can accept it. But if they cannot want that for their own children, why imposing something like that to other human beings? That's where my point is. We are all human beings. Africa, Asia, or America, wherever, we are all human beings. And Congo to be big, it doesn't mean anyone can come and cut a little piece and take it. Cut a little piece and get, but that's the plan. They are complaining, oh, Congo is too big and they cannot manage it. We cannot manage because you don't give us time.
It's an insult because we're going to fix you instead of how can we figure out if we want to help without being paternalistic.
Well, starting with us not sending in the troops and the training and the arms through our own interests.
Yes. And how to develop the leadership, you know? Important thing, isn't it? I thought Joseph Kabila was a pretty decent guy.
No,
But
Laura
he wasn't.
Kabila, not Joseph Kabila. Laura Kabila was killed because he didn't respond to the demand of Western.
Mhm.
That's the reason. Because even when the Second War started, that I went to get involved in with Wamba Diawamba, in Goma and Bukavu there was a resistance. And why the Second War? Why the Second War? People didn't understand why the Second War.
Was that the 96?
1998.
88, yeah.
But the Second War was necessary for Rwanda and Uganda and Western because Kabila didn't want to deal with them economically. He said he doesn't need any aid from outside. Congo is too rich, they can build the country without aid from outside. And that's what killed Kabila. He wanted to do business with Russia instead of France and Europe. You know. All other countries was doing business before with Mobutu. That was killed Kabila. And who they could use, the only person he trusted, the stepson. Because nobody else really could kill Kabila. People were still wanted him to do something because, you know, he started trying to train the real Congolese, you know, young people in army, and the police wasn't like harassing people anymore, you know. So things started like really getting better little by little, but in 1 year they didn't give him a chance to do things. Oh, he's not qualified, and now this boy is qualified.
Worse.
I have a question just for everybody here. I know some of you live off I-5 and in Santa Rosa, and we're here, and Coco's in Manchester, New Hampshire. So we're spread out, but I know after we had one event here where we screened Crisis in the Congo, the short documentary, we had 2 representatives from Congress that came. Their staff members were here, and then we followed up with a meeting where. And it's something we want to continue doing because that's where we can start getting, but what I found through our first meeting is that we didn't have the details of, we know that they were saying that the U.S., we saw in the documentary, former Department of State employees saying, I saw with my own eyes the shipments coming in from the U.S. with guns to arm the Rwandan government. I saw, like, he's saying that we didn't have more documentation, so I'm wondering if we're to work with, I know Friends of the Congo is working a lot on this part to just get really clear facts, and especially around the corporations, but if we even just would decide we want to meet with each one, we can kind of come to each other's communities and make some appointments with, even if we're not getting the representatives, but we get the staff members, it's a start, and hopefully we get the representatives, but if we kind of come showing
Congolese Americans and Americans born here and saying, we know these facts and we want answers. We want to know why. I mean, it's laughable. The man doesn't even speak French. You know, we need to know this. I didn't know that, and I'm sorry for not knowing that before. But if we can say very clearly, we want answers from our representatives in Congress. Why? And this is what our recommendation is, because there's a law in the books that say you're supposed to be doing this. You're not supposed to be funding Rwanda and Uganda if they're giving a lot of military pay in Congo. Why are you still giving them? I think it's $240 million is what someone had said runs the Congo. So if we just start with small community meetings like that, is that something that you want to network together on? And we can just kind of set a time schedule and then travel up, I don't know, maybe over the next 6 months, we kind of decide when, and just sit and start meeting with our representatives. Some say it's fallen on deaf ears, but I think that's what we keep hearing is the pressure.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense, definitely has an impact. I've heard that over and over again. If we don't say anything, nothing happens.
Nothing happens, that's true.
But if we speak up,
That's true.
they listen and then it's reported. It goes up to the next
Yes.
level.
I agree, because South Africa changed when there was apartheid in South Africa. American all communities stand up like that. They speak out what's going on, and that's why there's a change today. I think this is something for me. I wish, and I have all American here to have these ideas. I think if we do it, it's easier to get our everybody. I know the Congolese now, their eyes open. They speaking up now in Europe, in Canada, even in America. America a little bit different because we have mixed feeling here. There is people, they family member work for the president over there, so they don't want to speak out because they're all stealing. They're getting help. That's them. None of us here work for that thing. We want to change. This is a good idea for me. I think we can do something together. Edric, actually, we here, me and Edric, we have another person. We have, I'm not sure, we talked to them about the Congo River.
Yeah, we
The Congo River is a non-profit organization. We just started. There's not much going on because we need our paperwork with IRS, get ready. It's recognized in California. Edric is the president, the vice president. Our treasurer is not here. We have Congolese community here, which is called Inga. It doesn't work.
I met someone from Monterey at that meeting the other night.
I see. Yeah, Inga. Inga doesn't work. Why? Because these people, they have the same ideas like the people in Congo, the dictator. They don't best interest. They're not open up. Actually, it's not politically. It's just for the community. But even for community, it doesn't work. I'm not part. Yes, I'm from Inga, but they don't do the work for me. So we have this idea. Him and me and other people. My wife, we have people. When we hear that somebody came, refugee came here, we go over there. What do you need? We need this. We have our program. We've been doing this. And in my heart, I grew up like this. With the missionary, helping out people back home. In the United States, I can do more. But these people, they're not working to help people. They work for the best interest. What is it? I don't know. So, but I think our community, Congo River, is different from what we're trying to do, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Congo
we can't
River.
mix up with
River?
this is
Rivers.
something different.
With the
This is something,
Foundation.
yeah, foundation to speak out for what's going on in Congo.
It's in
So we can be heard from the leaders here, they can hear us. At the end, they can hear us, we can speak up, or I can take a march over there, 2-3 people to stand up over there in San Francisco. I think this is something.
Yeah, like we talked about when Edric and 23 took over Goma, and Edric and I were talking on the phone about organizing, because in London they turned out a good rally, and other places they turned out really tight rallies. But yeah, strengthening the networks to do that turnout. And I just was reminded, so Melissa attended a year ago, Congo Action Network's advocacy conference. So it's through the Presbyterian Church, but it's interfaith, and lots of different groups are coming together. And they're actually, it was on the East Coast last year, but it's going to be the first weekend in October in San Antonio, Texas. So I don't know if you can have one representative go, but we're hoping that maybe one person from our church could go. But if you want to describe kind of what it is.
It's a real coming together of ideas, and there's a lot of really hard work that people just plow through it for 3 days, I think it was, looking at advocacy and education and women's issues and health. And there were people from health workers from Congo. There were Africa Faith and Justice Network representatives. Dr. Hadi was there. A lot of people, really good speakers. And it's like I can send you the link from last year.
Yeah, would like to.
Okay.
Do we have your email?
Yeah. Thank you, Coco.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
That's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Merci. Ndeni barabara Swahili. Tulingio mingi. Nakupenda sana. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
No.
That's okay.
It's all right.
And I think this feels like a good time to close. Thank you guys so much for staying. Did you sign on the sign-in sheet?
Yes, I did.
What I'll do is I'll send a follow-up to everybody, and I'll give the link to the video and the link to the advocacy, and you can just spread the word in there. Yeah,